Thank you, everybody. Thanks to the virtual audience out there. Really excited to share this content with you. As I mentioned, RevTech, Signals, and the team are outstanding. What I wanted to go over today, I think there's been a lot of hype and a lot of media noise out there around AI. I think the presenters today have done an outstanding job on making it practical, applicable, and something that you can chew on to go execute. What I wanted to do, though, is turn a little bit of a page on once you've decided, because you should have already, if you're not using already, to use AI. Once you've decided that you want to go as a decision maker or go pitch this to your C-suite executives, I wanted to show you how to go do this. So I'm Albert Ramos. I'm a fractional CFO for Stratego Intel Consulting. I also partnered up with White Glove AI as the host of the new podcast season for teams so that you provide a great team member experience and member experience. So today we're going to be talking about how do you go get this pitch to your C-suite executives that maybe are sitting outside of the arena for right now. They're in the stands, right? How do you sell AI to your CFO? And I wanted to make sure I gave you a specific step-by-step guide on how to do that. If you'd like to engage with me, feel free to follow me on LinkedIn, shoot a DM over to me. I have one little disclaimer. I know you're going to, and I hope you do. If you are going to pitch me any of your tools, products, services, shoot me a note. All I ask is make it funny and send me something personal, and I'll make sure to reply back. If you don't, I'm sending you an emoji and saying no thanks. So make sure to follow me there on LinkedIn. You also have a QR code if you want to go directly to it if you're watching this from your laptop or desktop. So we'll get as people are starting and executives and companies are starting to lean in. And it's not about should I or when, it's I need to, but how do I do it? And here's why it's so important that you start leaning in if you haven't already. Number one is the market growth, right? And this is a conservative number by
Hey, Albert, sorry to do this to you again. We lost some audio. Sorry, Albert, I still can't hear you. Okay. We'll just give Albert a few seconds to rejoin. Oh, I can see you now too.
You're going to have one of those days with tech. I love it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no worries. It's all
come
good.
to the live stream.
Well, let me ask you this, Jenny. If you have the deck on your end, is there any way for you to share it? And that way, maybe there might be a bandwidth situation going on here.
Yeah, if you send me the link, I can share my screen.
Yeah, my pleasure.
You'll just have to give me some direction on when you want me to scroll, but happy to do that.
No worries. Yeah, let's pivot here.
Okay.
I think the next presentation is AI on presenting and not losing your tech.
If you want to drop a link.
My bad. Yeah, let me get the link for you.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Here it is. I'm just going to throw it in. Actually, so people have access to it as well, just in case you all lose me. And maybe someone else wants to step in and chat us out. Okay. All right, there it is. It's in the chat. So for anyone out there, you have access to that deck directly. And then Jenny, you have it there. And
yep, just give me a second to get it ready to go.
No problem. Well, what I was getting to is the market growth, right? We have not only Stargate, a $500 billion commitment, but we also have companies like Amazon, Meta, Google just came out with a massive $1 billion investment in AI infrastructure. So really excited about that. The second thing that Jenny's pulling up here, there it is a big reason why you want to lean in if you haven't already, specifically for those in sales, marketing. The competitive edge is a big one, right? We know, and this was very 2024, 2023, AI can help you automate repetitive and mundane tasks. I think we're past that one. We know the power that it can do there. It's really that next layer is, how are you using AI in marketing and sales to improve the customer experience? And my favorite, and more importantly, the team member experience internally. The third thing is, how do we use AI to make faster, more effective decisions? I come from the finance space and we've seen the power that it does, and it's getting even better. But even on the marketing side, and I'll tell you from the finance lens or as a CFO, I'm always pressing the marketing team to show me from all the things that they're doing, from website, social, et cetera, how is that leading to $1 to the bottom line? And AI can allow us to get even closer there, more precise on showing the ROI, which we'll get to in a little bit. Finally, it's starting to become far cheaper. We've seen a lot of news recently over the last couple of weeks, and we can do it at scale, which is music to my ears. For those that aren't using AI, or if you're wondering if your competitors are using it, I'm officially letting you know that I know specifically that many of you that are on this should know that your competitors are using AI already, because I'm helping them build it and I'm helping educate their teams on how to use it. So I highly recommend that you jump in. So Jen, if we scroll down, I wanted to provide some examples of ways that you should be or can be using AI. And if you have any questions about this, again, you have a QR code there, you have the link in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me. But you can see here from real-time feedback on specific financial metrics, competitive intelligence, scraping websites at a much better level, hyper-personalization. I was at a recent event at the Dallas meetup, and shout out to Carson and that team. But using AI to target your ICP, your ideal customer profile. We're no longer focusing on low quality, cold leads. And I know there's a lot out there. You could send 40,000 emails and you get a 1% open rate. That's great. And if you want to continue doing that, awesome. But there's also great tools out there that allow you to go after those that actually want to use your product and your services. So it's smarter hot leads. There's better qualification and ranking systems using AI. You can create new tools, new verticals, new revenue streams, or ARR with your AI tools. And then I love the retail space, and many of you are in it, is strengthening that omni-channel from an online experience even to in-store and keeping it consistent. And so as we go down the list, hopefully you're checking off some boxes in your head there. If not, again, if you have questions on how to go do this, feel free to reach out. What I'd love to talk about next, though, is, okay, we know that AI is important. We should be using it if we're not already. Here are some examples of how to go do it. But there is a problem. And if Jenny, if you want to scroll down there, someone's in the way, right? And typically, and this could be any one of your leadership executives or team members, but typically it's the one that controls the investment purse string. And that person's the CFO. And so that's the point of today, is I want to show you how you can go pitch this, knowing that your organization, your team needs AI, your department needs AI. I want to show you how to pitch this to your CFO the right way. So as we scroll down here, we need to unravel, right, and peel back the layers of how a CFO thinks. And I'm going to give you 4 different ways on how to go and approach this. So number one, this is probably one of the most important, is what is the return on investment, right? So you need to demonstrate tangible benefits and a clear path to profitability. You'll see it here again. If you're pitching AI and you're pitching it as a cost center, that's not going to get a lot of attention nor a lot of dollars. What you want to show is mathematically, and notice I offered a quote here because I've said this, show me mathematically what the return on investment is. And you have to do your homework and you have to crunch the numbers and present that out. It can't just be, well, everyone's doing it, we got to go AI. Show me where, if we plug this in our organization, what is the ROI? Second thing, and you saw some examples above, how is this leading to cost savings? With everyone riding the inflation wave over the last couple of years, it's going to be very hard to get points in that specific area on price. So we're looking at all of us, sales and marketing, volume and mix, right? Volume, price, mix are your levers. Price is going to be tough. So volume and mix. How are you going to go drive top line revenue, but also reduce your cost spend to grow your bottom line, right? And so there are opportunities and pain points currently within your organization where you can plug in and integrate AI to reduce that cost spend. So here's a quote for you. And I hear this all the time. Well, AI is just going to be a cost center, not a revenue generating center. And that's something you need to think about. The third thing, and a lot of people miss this, and I don't want you all to, because typically it's not just your CFO, it's their best friend, sometimes the CIO, right? And you got to think about the data security implications, right? So ensuring compliance with regulation, I always advise that you have an AI task force and you're thinking about sensitive and confidential information. Have that part of your pitch and proposal. I hear this a lot, especially for those, and I know we have some on here from the tech space. Well, if we introduce that AI, we're gonna leak some sensitive information and get sued, and that's when my ears ring, right? From a risk mitigation and funds. So we don't want that to happen. So you really got to partner up with those that are subject matter experts, specifically in IT, to make sure that you're vetting the right AI tools. Because I'll tell you, and it's okay to offer some discernment and be skeptical. There are some tools out there that you don't want to even touch with a 10-foot pole. I won't mention them because I'll get in a lot of trouble. Number 4, lastly, and I think this is the most important one, yet I'm so surprised this gets missed so much. We have these amazing tools. We know these pain points. We know what we want to go solve, but we don't think about how we go implement it with people. So there's implementation risks. So understanding the challenges with your people and your culture, understanding the complexities, how to roll this out, and doing it slowly, one step at a time. I see and hear this quote all the time. It's going to go wrong, and we'll see a revenue dip, and all you salespeople just click on your screen again. We can't have that, right? So we can't have the revenue dip. So it's so important. Again, you understand what the ROI is, and we're going to walk through that here in a bit. We have to come at it from a cost savings, efficiency, and productivity gains. You need to make sure that you're keeping mind of the data security implications. And then finally, how are you going to roll this out slowly and effectively with, for, and through your people? So if we scroll down, I want to go and break and unravel this ROI piece, right? Return on investment of AI. It's important. If you pitch this without this, that paper or that proposal, that email is going to get deleted. Hopefully it's an email, not paper, right? Let's digitize everything. So I want to give you some specific examples here. Number 1, we're all excited about this. Let's go increase some sales, right? So we know AI can increase sales, right? Hyper personalization is it right now. You can do so much with AI there, driving sales, meeting your ICP, right? Your target market exactly where they're at, knowing who they are and what they need, right? And then drive a better customer experience. That being said, you got to know what's happening without AI now. So what's your from and where you're going to take it to if we integrate AI within your software, systems, workflows, et cetera. What does that mean in dollars? Your CFO is going to want to know that. And what does that mean from a percentage growth year over year? And I know some of us are still talking about it because we're trying to recover to 2019. You have to make sure that's on your proposal as well. Second, I've mentioned it. We need to reduce costs, or we're going to reduce costs by integrating AI, right? So we know from a repetitive task, the mundane, to things like lead generation, data entry, customer service. And this is a sensitive topic, and I'm so glad Dave said it, and he kicked off this whole thing with it. It's already happening. I'm seeing it happen. And if it's not a reposition type of thing, the next step, especially from a CFO that's talking to leaders out there that are watching this, or executive leaders that are looking at jumping in AI, this is replacing people. It's the truth. And I'm not a fan of what I call the rainbows and butterflies out there. That's not going to replace anything. It's just going to augment. That is not true. It's already happening. It's replacing people. So you need to make sure that you're leaning in, learning these things, and you're in a position to consult, be a business partner, and supervise these AIs. And I'm not going to even get to agents, but that's another thing. Reducing costs, right? So what is your current cost in payroll, in benefits, in marketing budget? I know that's a hot topic. In marketing budget, in your sales budget, what is that from, and what is it going to be when we integrate AI? What is that to in dollars? And again, how do we protect those margins? We all know, we've heard it, AI improves efficiency. So I wanted to give you some metrics And again, hopefully you have your transcribers out there, or if you're not doing that and you're using pen and paper, talk to me too. We need to get you on a transcriber. So revenue per sales rep, cost per lead, lead to opportunity conversion, customer acquisition costs, right? A dramatic improvement in click-through rates, or some of you call it CTRs, right? For short, I'm getting these acronyms in there. Open rates and reply rates. Make sure that this is part of your pitch and proposal when introducing or pitching AI to your executive team. So if we scroll down, I want to go through a couple points and just examples quickly, right? And some of this might apply to you, and actually it's going to apply to all of you because I have one for marketing and for sales. And by the way, I went through plenty of case studies that I have, and I wanted to look over something recent because things are changing fast. So over the last 3 weeks, I picked out a couple clients that you all can go replicate, or maybe it's something that you can relate to. So number one, how do we use AI in the finance space? Well, it's easy. And it's not just necessarily the accounting and bookkeeping and AR and AP. I like spending, and I know a lot of you like spending time in cash flow and P&L analysis. So what I found, I had a client that reached out and they weren't using AI. They had inaccurate cash flow. They had no idea why they're not getting a distribution, have no idea why their cash position is in a negative, and could not foresee what's happening in the next 13, 14 weeks. They were spending, their finance team was spending over 40 hours per month. That's in addition to what it took to close the books, gathering all this data and trying to figure out. So what we did with AI is we used AI to create forecasting tools, specifically cash flow forecasting tools. So that allowed visibility and also allowed the ability to have strategic decision-making on what to do next, not only on the top line revenue, but also from your expense line items. It can also detect, there's some amazing tools out there that allow you to detect anomalies when there's any type of cost overruns or projecting any type of cost overruns or any type of fluctuations. And then finally, my favorite, there's some modeling that you can do, and a big shout out. I don't mention a lot of tools typically on things like this, but I will say Scan AI, I highly recommend you all look into it if you're interested in looking at scenario-based modeling. If I do X, what happens to price? If I do Y, what happens to volume? If I do et cetera, what happens to my marketing, whatever, Z? There's a great tool out there that allows you to create scenarios before piloting it or even rolling it out officially. So I'll go into case number 2 because I think this is going to be more applicable to the audience, and that's in marketing. This is a recent, and maybe they're watching today. There's a marketing client of mine that was really looking to get far more efficient. They actually outsourced a lot of their content creation, editing, writing, et cetera, copyright, et cetera. And they wanted to get more efficient with it. They also want to have a better experience with their clients and have better engagement. And then also start to enable sales from a client engagement managers. So the team wanted it to be smarter. They knew that they needed to lean into AI. There's a lot of noise around SEO, right? So they wanted some help there, and then to automate workflows so they can get more clients and get more content out there generated faster that was still quality made. So as we partnered up, we outfitted that entire team with GPTs. And if you don't know what that means, right, it's not your normal quote unquote AI search or vision or voice function. This is getting what I call inch wide, mile deep, right? And getting very narrow with your client base or your ICP. They're called generative pre-trained transformers, GPTs. And we tailored them for every single brand. They had hundreds. We created a GPT so that every time they talked to their client, we had their brand book uploaded. We had their SOPs. I have everything that we know about their CEO and their CFO. We had everything about their ICP so that when we were content creating, it wasn't a generalized cookie cutter approach and the next best thing as the organization. We wanted it to make it tailor-made and what they call custom to fit, which I love that quote of theirs or their motto. So we automated their content generation, specifically in this case, LinkedIn. We did that with email campaigns. And I'll tell you, I know the buzzword about agents is out there and it's real. These agents do grab articles. They can create newsletters within seconds, blogs, etc. And I'll get to that in a little bit. We streamlined the client onboarding experience we did a ton. So really excited about that case study. Again, you have this deck if you want to review some more of those points. Finally, on the sales side and the biz dev side specifically. So one of the case studies that I want to pull out, and I know there's a lot of you that come from the talent acquisition and staffing world, specifically BD. And we know that there's a bit of a lag there. I think there's a couple players out throughout the country in the staffing world that are starting to jump in. Even recently met someone that's creating an entire team of recruiters that are agents, no humans at all on the team. And they're starting to get better and better and actually place candidates, and the time to fill as well as the efficiency gains to the bottom line and EBITDA are outstanding. It's already here. So there was this recruiting agency that reached out to me and they just couldn't get client leads, or at least it was inefficient. When they met with them, there was low conversion rates, even slow response times they found, as they had a ton of CVs or resumes coming through, clients trying to get a hold of them. And it was just all over the place, right? In addition to organizing and maintaining their contracts and making sure they had the correct terms. This was a contingent type of placement model that they had. And so what we did is we integrated AI into their lead generation or prospecting. We put it within every single interview, specifically transcribers. We are able to watch the candidate, their sentiment, how long the recruiter was talking, how long the candidate was talking. When reaching out to clients, we knew exactly what they needed and what they were looking for. So better relationship management. Again, this wasn't taking notes and having to do all this homework. We use AI, GPTs, and agents to find this information within seconds, within minutes, and not days. So again, I'll let you all read through that just for the sake of time. You can go through some of the different things. I do want to, because I'll have something at the end here, we also introduced a chatbot. And I know there's a lot of chatbots out there, but what we were able to do, not only on the inbound side when people would come to their website, but on the outbound side, and I know there's some that DM me before this, is how can I do one internally for my team? Think, you have SOPs, you have workflows, you have documentation. Hopefully you can upload that into your chatbot or GPT, and now you have a better team member experience so people can actually find things faster throughout your organization. If you're not doing that yet, you need to for sure. So if we scroll down, I wanted to add there agentic workflows and agents. Please research this. I'm not going to chat about this today. And I would have so much fun with Dave earlier. We can chat about this for hours and for days. Everyone, it's here. It's not a buzzword. I've seen them. I see what they can do when built by great people. Those that are on this virtual call, I've seen them and they're amazing. And so please research what they do. You may even want to know how they operate and how to build them. I mentioned it earlier. One of the combos that you may get though when you're pitching this is the CFO and CIO. So really important. Just three main points here is make sure that you understand the significance and the importance of protecting data, the security of data, the privacy of data. You also want to make sure your AI task force is thinking about ethical AI, so governance and an auditing process or workflow there. And then finally, just making sure that you protect your culture and people. I want to hit that note again around implementation challenges. It's so important that you think through those and you don't rush to a tool or to some sort of AI in the process. You got to think about all these moving parts. Okay, so how do we pull that all together? Here's what you're going to do. Here's your call to action, the milestones, and what you want to do. So number one, you want to define the business case. What is the issue? What's the problem you're trying to solve first? If there's no problem or you can't identify it, don't move forward, right? There's no reason to choose a tool if it's not solving something, right? So make sure you can clearly articulate, whether that's through email or in person, which I recommend, the specific pain points that you'll solve in your sales department or marketing department or what have you. The second thing, once you've got past that, is what's the financial impact? We've gone through that today. What is the ROI? What are the sales implications? What are the cost savings implications? What's the projected ROI and cost savings, as I mentioned there? Show the mathematical potential gains. You have to do that. Without that, and I'm telling you, if anyone ever sent me something about AI and integrating it in and you didn't break down the mathematical proof of what it would do, I toss the idea. I don't want to hear about it. And so you're going to get that response too if you don't do that. Finally, what's your AI budget and implementation plan? Show the investment breakdown of what you know at that point, right? And you may need some help there from those in finance or FP&A, et cetera, right? So lean into your subject matter experts so they can build something for you. Finally, pitch it, and I'd love to hear about it. So shoot me a DM on how it goes. So I have some things for you all, just to end this off, specific to what we can do for you all. There are some benefits, and I think we've gone through that. We understand it's not a cost center, it's a revenue accelerator, right? It's about eliminating inefficiencies and wasted spend. There's so much out there. And if you're out in front of this and you're presenting this to your executive team or those executives out there, we know that these are some pain points. You can solve these so quickly. And then finally, AI is your CFO's best friend. Just make sure that you present it as a strategic investment. So here's my call to action. As you heard earlier, draft up your proposal with your team, with your department, with those decision makers. And if you're the one, great, draft it out. Second thing, validate it with some subject matter experts. And finally, I'd love to hear how it goes. This is a ton of fun for me, and I want to make sure that you do it appropriately and you make change for not only your customers, again, more importantly, for the team member experience within your organization. So I have something for you all. Hopefully, for those that stayed on or will see this in the future, this also applies to you all. As we go down, I'd love to have you try out AI if you haven't already. If you heard me say chatbot and you don't have one currently in your organization or externally on your website, not only am I a fractional CFO for Stratego Intel, I'm also a virtual CIO for White Glove AI. And I want to give them a shout out. We do some amazing shows on the AI Executive. Find it on LinkedIn. But what we're offering everyone is just a taste of what AI can do for you. And I can't wait to see your eyeballs when you see the power that it has when people come to your website and all the information that it will gather for you. Again, you can do this internally as well for your team members. So DM me on LinkedIn, RevTech, and we'll make sure to send you the link. So if you qualify, we'll get you that chatbot as well. And then finally, just I've mentioned it a couple times, just so we all get to engage with each other. This is such an amazing platform. I'm so grateful to be here. And Jenny, if you scroll down, I can show others where to find me and how to get more of AI. The first thing that I shared there is a framework. I wanted to show you all what a great framework looks like. We've developed this at White Glove AI. We'd have a ton of researchers, and some of you that are on this virtual call and summit, you've been a part of this and have given us your feedback. Thank you so much. But you have to have a framework, as I showed earlier, not only an investment proposal, but how you go roll this out to your team. If you'd like to hear more, I do a daily show called The Morning Buzz. So if for those of you that were forced to return to office, you can listen in on your drive into downtown, or those that are getting a workout like me early in the morning, feel free to jump in and listen in, and we're answering all your questions. I also have some amazing people lined up for the podcast, the AI Executive Podcast. We also do, once the kids are to bed, we do an after hour. So get your favorite beverage and we'll do some Q&A based on that podcast and have some chats if you're looking to learn more. And then we have some amazing guests, and we do these impromptu roundtables. So go on LinkedIn. It's called the AI Executive. We'd love to have you on. And if you want to be a guest, feel free to reach out to me too. You have all my information. Jenny, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to hearing how the audience goes and takes action here. And I'm looking forward to engaging on LinkedIn too. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for being flexible and going with the live stream. We really enjoyed having you.
No, thank you so much.